Hello and welcome to my world of crochet. My name is Tina and today I'm here with you for another yarn talk video. And as you can see, I finished the GingerTea Cowl. I got it blocked and I got the buttons sewn on. I'm wearing it. It is a bit warm because it is still summer. Pretty pleased with how it turned out, though somehow I'm not sure if I just can't manage to get the full ideal fit placed. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how everything turned out, including the buttons, and we will talk more about that in a few. Also, while I was in Denmark, I almost finished up. I missed one round before I had to go home. I finished up this Capelina summer hat / bucket hat. It's not the ideal fit right now because I do have my hair set up, but for the raw matter of speaking, there is a summer hat. It is definitely more airy than I had anticipated, but I'm not unhappy with it. So yeah, we have a hat. And I just followed the drops pattern, which I should have linked in the description box down below, should you be curious. I used the Cotton Light from Drops DK yarn, which is 50% cotton, 50% polyester. 4mm crochet hook is what they recommend. The pattern says at 3mm. I end up using at 3.5 because I do have a tight tension. It's 50 grams skein, so 1.75 ounces to 105 meters, equaling 115 yards. I used a little bit more than 2 skeins in this. In fact, I used 2 skeins and 10 grams, so basically 20% of another skein. So what I'm debating on, because this is the skein I used some of, and as you can see, it's limited how much is been used from it. I am debating if I can make a size smaller, if there might be enough yarn to pull that off. So I am contemplating that, or a child size. Maybe I can figure out the pattern and make a child size version, because I don't know else what to use this yarn for, and it is the only skeins I have left of this color. And I don't know how well drops do in the lot numbers and die lots, if we can get the same coloration or not. So I think I'm gonna try to make an extra of these in this yarn, and then we will have to see how that goes. When I was fitting this during the process, the feeling was the hat was sitting a bit better, though albeit a bit looser, but I do suspect it has to do with the fact, as I said, my hair is up. So that's just what that's gonna be. So I finished that bucket hat. And yeah, of course, this week I had time to finally get this GingerTea Cowl blocked. That said, normally it's not advised to get it blocked, but I needed it because it had shrunk due to the front post, back posts, double crochets that you do, which is what gives this lovely striping. And I don't know if I'll just get up in this height. You can see how this is sitting. And there are the 4 buttons to help close the piece. And as I said, it is a little bit of a warm experience right now. But I crafted 4 buttons. Well, the 4 buttons here, I did actually craft more. Because the thing is, I wasn't sure what coloration I would use for the pigmentation. So I also crafted some of these lighter ones, and these darker ones are the ones that I ended up using. The lighter ones also are a little bit see-through, so they could have used more pigmentation should I have wanted to use these. So I ended up making sure I had at least the 4 buttons. And then I crafted a few extra just to ensure if something went wrong and whatnot. So I had some extra materials. So I ended up with 6 of each. So I have 2 left of these dark blue ones. And then of course I have 6 buttons of these light teal blues. So I do have buttons for another good time, just in case. The buttons are 1.5 centimeters wide, so that's a little bit more than 1/2 inch. I did have slightly bit material over to make some very, very tiny buttons because I felt it was a waste to throw out materials. And I had 4 of these small dark blue ones, which probably would have been enough to make an extra full button. But I didn't want to take the gamble, and therefore I optioned for the smaller ones. Yeah, so I made buttons, great. And as you can see, these work out pretty good with this setup. I need to keep track of what I have underneath here. Actually, I should just unbutton it so you can see how it looks after it got blocked, because I also got the picots lined out, which I personally think is much nicer. And let's see if I can actually show it decently, because I have the feeling here now, after I've worn it, that we are back, but with the picots and with the buttons down there. So that's pretty much it. I finished this one, so that is absolutely wonderful. And yeah, it's warm, believe it or not. It's not as cold as one would think. So that's good. Yeah. So what else have I been up to? I have been not working on Fleur. I wanted to work on Fleur, but it's been pretty warm, and I'm sitting here in a sweater. I should probably take that one off because it is actually quite warm. It's right now the weather where, you know, it's too warm to wear a sweater, but it's sometimes too cold not to have one on. Now it's towards the afternoon. The temperature is heating up again. So in the morning you want to wear a sweater, but in the afternoon you don't need one. Late summer, that's just how it is. But it also means, because we did have the last 2 weeks here in the Netherlands, it's been a bit warmer than average, which means it's been too warm to sit with a big blanket on top of me to work on Fleur. So Fleur is still stuck at where it was 2 weeks ago. I want to make more on Fleur, but I have just accepted the terms of the weather. This is what we're looking at. I can't even see what I'm doing, but this is Fleur. It's gonna be warm for the winter, and yeah, I'm gonna play catch up sometime this autumn, because I still had this idea that I want to finish this one this year, and that will definitely require me playing catch up, because based on the first plans I had, I am officially behind again. Or maybe I just need to stop setting these goals for Fleur, because the fact is that I quite easily get distracted to do other projects. I think I'm not the only crafter having this issue. You have 2 or 3 items laying at least, and then sometimes you get inspired to do another one because you have this yarn that's really speaking to you, and you just can't wait getting started. Well, that would be me. But I'm really trying my best not to start 1,000 projects at the same time, because I also know it's limited how much I can remember, in the sense of how many patterns I remember, which project is going with what. I could like notes in them and say, oh, this is this pattern and this is this hook, etc. But, you know, if I'm working on 10 projects at a time, I'll never have them done. So I guess I'm just trying to be motivated enough to get projects finished. And I like trying to have a project per week or every 2 weeks or something like that finished. Not succeeding that well. Well, this week I was, but I also didn't have yarn talk last week. But I have been working on the Ultimate Sacrifice shawl. And I didn't bring that with me to Denmark. So I've only been working on it when I've been here in the Netherlands. But we are so far that we are slowly getting ready to do the color changes, in the sense of to cut the yarn and add on the extra yarn that I had over from the GingerTea Cowl, because this is the exact same yarn. It is the Hobbii Azalea, which is a 7-ounce cake, so 200-gram cake to 800 meters or 860 some odd yards. This is where we're at right now. Fly like a blue phoenix, an ice phoenix maybe even. I think that's a nice name. Ice phoenix. It is a gorgeous piece. I do still have to catch up a little bit on the frocking I had to do, because I was live Wednesday, and during the live it went really, really well. At least I thought so. Until I realized the last row I had done before the live, so the day before something, I had inserted an extra chain 2 space spontaneously in the middle of one of these fans. So it wasn't something I could hide or not frock, because it would be so visible on the final piece that there was an error. I do option not to frock if I know there is a mistake, but if it's so tiny, it's gonna be difficult to find. I'm fine with not frocking it. But this one, my friends, it was unseeable in the sense you couldn't unsee it when you have seen it, and it would be an easy to spot. So I had to frock it. So I had to frock 1.5 rows back, because it was almost at the end of the row. And you know, we do work around, like back and forth. So it was a 1.5 row frock back, and it was a pain. And I know you guys that was with me yesterday during the live also felt the pain of my frocking. So this is the catch up we still need to do, plus the shambles from the leftovers I had from the GingerTea Cowl, because as you can see, it is definitely the same coloring. So I just folded it up, but it's the same yarn. And whatever I had left from that is what I'm using here. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I do really like how this one is coming out of the coloring, and yeah, Ice Phoenix. I like that name, actually. I think it's an Ice Phoenix. Do you? Ice Phoenix? That's a good name for it, isn't it? So what's else left to talk about, actually? Not an awful lot. I have been planning more bucket hats. And I had brought that yarn with me to Denmark, but I never got it made. You know, I knew I had limited time there, and I almost finished one, which is cool. And because it didn't finish it, I didn't get to start on the next one. But I still have that yarn here, and the plan is to start on that at some stage. I am unsure what I'll do first, but yarns are here. It's an 8/8 cotton from Linda Hobbii. Absolutely gorgeous, wonderful, soft yarn to work with. I do also have the white. The white, it was more like a bonus yarn in the event if I decided on doing a 4th color, because this could go really well together. That said, for the hat, I think it's not gonna be the case. I do have another idea for that. But it's good to know for the future should I need to combine yarns. And these cotton 8/8s are regularly on sale at Linda Hobbii, like every 2 or 3 months. So if I want new yarns, I'll just be a bit patient and wait for them to either restock or get back on sale. But the colorings here would be the colorway, let's see, 21 Latte. This is colorway 37, the lighter, well, this one. Colorway 37 Canarino, so Latin Canarino. And the last one we have here is the Soul, which is colorway 40. And they go nice together. So that is gonna be a nice summery bucket hat. A bit late for the season, but I'm sure there will be some happy receiver out there for sure. And what I'm gonna be doing a bit early for the season is that I found some yarns that I'm going to knit the beanies with. I am gonna stick to the rib knit beanie because I think this yarn is absolutely amazing for it, but also because I do want to get better generally at using my double pointed needles. I really enjoyed when I closed up the white and brown beanie that I made, where I triple stranded it. You might also have seen the short I made of it earlier this week. Or last week, it was posted last week. But what I'm trying to say is this yarn is good for it, and I want to experience and train more in using those double pointed ones, and I think this yarn works fine with it. And it's yarn that I bought in the spring with the purpose of exactly making a beanie, so it has to happen, right? I have 2 colorways. And it is the Wibra Lena yarn. I'm just trying to see if I can find it without having it too funky. We have one here, we have 2 skeins here, and we have 2 skeins here. And obviously, I'm gonna need 2 skeins for each hat. How much less than 2 skeins, I don't know, because I need more than 1. I probably need less than 2. It's 50 gram skeins, so 1.75 ounce skeins. Very nice, light, yet a little bit thicker yarn, lovely variegation in it. It is created in Turkey, and it's 6.5 millimeter needles is what they recommend. So I'll need to check if I have 6.5 millimeter knitting needles, or I might just jump up to the 7, because like my crochet, my knitting has a slight tighter tension, and that's just how it is. It's 70% acrylic and 30% a wool, and honestly, it is very, very nice. The option for 6 millimeter crochet hooks, I think, or 6.5 millimeter crochet hooks, and then 6 millimeter needles. But still, let's see what I have. I do have my knitting set here with the squared needles in. Quite pleased with using that for my last as well. And I do have, let's see here, I have 6 and I have 7 and I have, so I have 3.5, 3.75, 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6, 7, and 8. That's the sizings I have here. The 8 is gonna be too thick. I'm probably gonna try on, I don't know. I'm probably gonna do the 7 millimeters and see how that turns out. Yeah, I think that seems logic actually, because as you can see, it's a little bit airy, it's a little bit chunkier. It's definitely not the thinnest wool at all, but it's nice and soft, and I'm really looking forward to see what these coloration turns out as once knit up. What I do like about these yarns is the fact that I don't need to double strand them, so it's easier to control in this case, and I think it's just 2 easy straightaway projects for me to not think too much while I knit up a pair of beanies, and keep it simple like that. So that's my plan. I think that's pretty much it. I'll be back on Monday with a new yarn talk video. Not yarn talk video, sorry. I'll be back Monday, and I'm gonna be live on Monday as well as Wednesday, and then Friday I'll be back with a new yarn talk video. Also, for quick heads up on my case of my mom, I was in Denmark, and she seems to be doing good for the matter of speaking. Of course, saying that you're fine when you're going through chemotherapy is a bit of a long draw, but considering the fact that she is going through that, The doctors were rather positive in the sense of normally what you experience with people undergoing chemo is that they get degradably worse and worse and worse. Where in the case of my mom, she actually seems to have gotten a bit more fit after it. So you can see that it has done something positive for her. Of course, she has all the negative side effects as well, you know, with the tingling fingers and everything tastes like, well, not nice, and, you know, appetite is down and all that stuff. So she does have her challenges, and she has some side effects, which is obviously not the pretty ones, but overall, if you look at how she's looking in her face and her body in general, I would say she looks better than what she was, but we are not there yet. She still has 2 treatments to go, and then we are waiting for final PET scans, and then of course, if that's positive, we'll still have to undergo regularly checks to see how and what, but hopefully those will be positive, and prayers are always accepted. So I'm going to say thank you so much for hanging out and watching this yarn talk video, and I'll see you again. Take care and happy crafting. Bye.